Welcome to True Health Tuesdays, and the truth will set you free. Allergies Part 2. I think restoring the immune system. I think you're going to like this. Now, the most important advancement in medicine is to understand our ecosystem. Professor Graham Rook, quote, "This realization that humans are in fact ecosystems and that we depend so much on these microorganisms, it's probably the most important advance in medicine in the last 100 years. One of my professors said you're 2/3 bug. That means that you have 70 trillion cells, you have 700 trillion bacteria, you have 70 quadrillion viruses, and incalculable amounts of yeast, funguses, and molds. And we have a symbiotic relationship with this. Without the 2/3 bug, we die. So it's important that we look at the microflora. Now, what disrupts the microflora and immune system? Well, obviously, physical, chemical, and emotional stressors, but also antibiotics. Virtually all medications disrupt the microflora. Wacky scenes, we can't even say the word. Environmental toxins, processed foods, toxic environments, and a sedentary lifestyle. Now, antibiotics. You're looking at 154 million prescriptions annually. Now, 30% of these are unnecessary. 44% of outpatient antibiotic prescriptions are for acute respiratory conditions where it's done prophylactically, okay, generally. Approximately 50% of all antibiotic prescriptions may be inappropriate. Now, what happens when you take an antibiotic or something that damages that microflora, you disrupt that ecosystem because those things kill both beneficial and pathologic bacteria. And that imbalance in that terrain, yeast. Now, yeast, all of these are opportunistic organisms. They have hyphae that actually bore holes in the intestinal tract, leaking, causing a leaky gut. And this allows proteins that aren't tempered by digestion to get into that bloodstream. And just huge. Now, obviously, concentrated animal feeding operations, CAFOs, 29 million pounds of antibiotics in 2009, and there's a lot more now. In fact, 70% of all antibiotic use is used in animal feed. Why? Because we're raising them incorrectly or inconsistent with that animal's life. Now, Charles Richet, brilliant guy, Nobel Prize winner. Quote, "We are so constituted that we can never receive other proteins into our bloodstream than those that have been modified by digestive juices. Every time an alien protein penetrates by a fraction, the organism suffers and becomes resistant." Now, how do foreign proteins get into this bloodstream? Again, we just say the V word. That's one of them. Now, killing the microbiome with toxic food. When you look at the majority of the food that's available, because it does add to the shelf life of the food, refined vegetable oils destroy your microbiome. And this is canola oil, corn oil, soybeans, which are actually pro-inflammatory foods, super high in omega-6. Pasteurized dairy products, which we're going to get into in dairy, the problem with it. And refined carbohydrates and processed grain products, conventional meat. And this is the CAFOs. And you're looking at poultry, eggs, which are high in omega-6s, not the omega-3s. And this has to do with how we feed the animals. Corn, cheap ingredients that negatively affect their microbiome. So the health of the animal is absolutely equates to the health of the product. And refined sugars. And this is the majority of all packaged foods, condiments, canned items, cereals. And then the trans fats and hydrogenated fats. Again, this adds to the shelf life, but damages the human being. And this is used in fried foods, processed foods, packaged foods. Now, processed dairy is toxic. Now, since the mid-1990s, new engineered food proteins, hormones, chemical additives were introduced in the food supply. Now, this is to maximize profitability, but there were no human trials done. With no human trials, they said it was grass, okay, generally recognized as safe, generally recognized, no human trials. Now, the first food to undergo this change was milk. Now, in 1994, they did added recombinant bovine growth hormone, which was used to increase milk production. And just like all animals, cows would give milk when they were pregnant. And so this keeps them producing the milk, which gives it a horrible product. Now, this results in higher disease rates in the animals as well as human beings. And so to counteract this, they increase the antibiotic usage, which the only bacteria that survives that stuff are superbugs. Now, Canada, the UK, Australia, New Zealand, and 27 other countries in Europe banned RBGH because it's not proven safe. Now, the anti-inflammatory or anti-allergy diet. Now, inflammation is a repair process of the body, but you have to have tissue damage for. So when you're looking at an anti-inflammatory diet, it's not that inflammation is attacking you. It's literally a repair process, except during that inflammatory repair process, the body breaks and builds tissue, and that creates free radicals. So anti-inflammatory foods literally deactivate those free radicals. And some of the best fresh vegetables are fantastic because they have loaded with antioxidants that deactivate those free radicals. So it allows inflammation to heal the tissue. Beets, and they also help the liver. Carrots, they turn into beta carotene, and that helps the lungs as well. All cruciferous vegetables. Look at broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, kale, dark leafy vegetables, collard greens, kale, spinach, onions, peas, salads, sea vegetables, amazing, and squashes. And if you lightly saute these vegetables, man, you even get more. Now, whole pieces of fruit in the skin of berries are powerful antioxidants. So you're looking at apples, blackberries, blueberries, cherries, nectarines, oranges, pears, pink grapefruit, plums, pomegranates, grapefruit, strawberries. And again, all organic. That way you're not getting the pesticides as well. Now, probiotics. Be aware of the 7 different types of probiotic bacteria. Lactobacillus, you've got Acidophilus, Bulgaris, Reuteri, Streptococcus, Thermophilus. You've got Saccharomyces boulardii, Bifidobacterium bifidium, and Bacillus subtilis. Now, look at probiotic foods. And again, let food be your medicine and medicine be your food. Kefir, coconut kefir. Coconut kefir, particularly if you have a leaky gut, because you're going to get the healthy bacteria in there, and you're not going to get the milk proteins leaching out into the bloodstream. Sauerkraut, kombucha, natto, which is fermented soy, yogurt, kvass, okay, this fermented rye, barley, apple cider vinegar, raw cheeses. Oh my gosh, raw goat cheese, raw sheep cheese. It's even easier to process. And these are some of the things that we recommend to autistic patients and patients with Alzheimer's or brain issues. Now, probiotic foods. Look at pickles. Make sure they're unpasteurized. Brine, cured olives. That's what I'm curing right now in my cupboard. Tempeh, okay, which is, again, it's a fermented soybean product. Miso, and this could be fermented soybean, barley, rice, koji, traditional buttermilk, and raw milk. The benefits are incredible. And kimchi, water kefir. Now, prebiotics are a type of dietary fiber that you can't break down by the human body. Instead, they're fermented by the beneficial bacteria and in the gut, which stimulates growth and activity. Now, the top prebiotic foods, underripe bananas, raw asparagus, raw garlic, raw dandelion greens, which are amazing, raw leeks, raw cooked onions, apples, whole oats, acacia gum. Oh my gosh, making me hungry talking about this stuff. Now, the benefits of prebiotics. Now, you're not going to be able to digest these fully. They ferment in the gut. So what does it do? It improves digestion, improves the microflora, improves immune system function. Because what's in the gut? Yeah, you're looking at immune system, 90% of your immune system, and you're looking at neurotransmitter production. Now, a reduction in inflammation. That means inflammation is now working to heal the tissue. Aids in weight loss, regulates hormone levels, mood levels. Remember, you got that gut brain going on. Now, healthy animal products. You're looking at healthy wild-caught fish. And look at the small fish: anchovy, mackerel, sardine, cod, herring. But look at not the wild-caught predatory fish like shark, swordfish, halibut. Not recommended. Cage-free eggs, grass-fed, pasteurized, raised milk. So meats. So you're looking at healthy animals give healthy products. Now, these animal sources of food are much higher in omega-3 fatty acids than the CAFO farmed raised foods, and great sources of protein, healthy fats, essential nutrients like zinc, selenium, and B vitamins. Then look at other healthy fats. Like all your other foods, the fats need to be organic and of the highest quality and locally sourced whenever possible. Butter from grass-fed cows, coconut oil, extra virgin olive oil, nuts and seeds. When you're looking at ancient grains, legumes, beans. Now, grains in general, particularly when you're healing from an initial leaky gut, are the issue with the digestive system, at least during the initial phase. Now, when the gut is restored to normal function, then the only grains that should be consumed are the ancient grains, preferably sprouted, unrefined. Also, when you're looking at a sourdough, you get the bacteria in there, which helps break down the glutens. And examples of these ancient grains: Anastasi beans, zucchini beans, black-eyed peas. Oh my gosh, I got some great recipes for those. Chickpeas, lentils, black rice, amaranth, buckwheat, quinoa. There's so many good varieties out there. Now, the elimination diet, and this is something only temporary, because if you didn't have an allergy to these foods before, it's a good idea to get them out of the diet right now. Now, if there are issues with food elimination or food allergies, this is short-term that eliminates certain foods that may cause allergies and other digestive reactions. Then you will slowly reintroduce the foods one at a time to determine which foods are not tolerated well. Now, step one, stop eating all the common allergy foods, food sensitives like gluten, dairy, soy, corn, peanuts, citrus fruits, hydrogenated vegetable oils. Shouldn't be eating that in the first place. Refined sugar, alcohol, caffeine, vegetables from the nightshade families, tomatoes, eggplants, potatoes, and peppers. Now, these are good foods for you. They got a lot of nutrient value, but you're going to reintroduce them later when we heal the gut and desensitize your system. Now, step two, monitor your food intake carefully. And this is all the foods that you eat for the first 3-4 weeks of the elimination diet. Keep a food journal. And this is during the time to record which foods you eat throughout the day and how you feel. See, if you feel lethargic or low energy after you eat something, it means your body's not processing it well. If you eat something and you feel energized, it means that your body is metabolizing it. And that's the whole thing. The only reason you're alive is because you're getting the amino acids from the proteins, fatty acids from the fats, and usable sugars from the carbs. And this food journal will be super helpful when you start to reintroduce these foods when you've desensitized your system. Now, if you eat any packaged foods, make sure you read the labels, because even trace amounts of things, particularly the refined sugars, the trans fats, and the hydrogenated vegetable oils, they're very, very toxic to healthy guts, let alone damaged guts. And then step three, you reintroduce the foods. After 3-4 weeks, that'll allow your system to settle down. Start reintroducing the foods one group at a time. Now, eat the suspicious foods daily until you can get a record of your symptoms, if there is any present. Now, note any changes in symptoms between the elimination phase and reintroduction phase. Now, when you're reintroducing it, if you've been gluten-free or dairy-free for a while, and I've got a couple of very, very young kid patients that when you get them on a gluten-free diet, it's really tough. And then to reintroduce it, you don't give them a cupcake or bread. Okay, just in talking the smallest, tiniest amount so that their system can slowly reintroduce it. So if it's gluten, you're talking a tiny bit of piece of sourdough bread. And I'm not talking a whole slice. I mean just enough to fill half a teaspoon. And do that every day for about a week. And then double that amount every day for about a week. And so you're slowly reintroducing this to desensitize the system. Now, it is trial and error. This is step 4. Then that's what the elimination diet is. You're testing to see what foods that your immune system has already been sensitized for. Now, if the symptoms return after you begin to eat the suspicious food, if you confirm that it's this food is triggering, then eliminate it once again until you can heal the gut more and desensitize yourself again. The goal is to see if the symptoms clear up once again when the food is removed. Then that really clues you in that food is one of the contributing factors. But it's really not that food, it's how your body recognizes it. Now, the entire process should take between 4 to 6 weeks. And that's to pinpoint the foods which are most allergic for you. And while you're doing this, you're also addressing the causative factors, the physical, chemical, emotional stressors. Now, the key is balance and regulation. So all allergic reactions are overreacting to the immune system, which needs help with regulation. The key is balance and regulation, because a well-regulated immune system doesn't overreact or underreact. It has an appropriate response for the environmental stimulus. Now, the concept of balance applies to every aspect of the body. You're talking, especially emotional stress levels can negatively affect the gut. But just look at that. Emotional stress will activate that fight or flight nervous system, and that shuts blood supply down to the gut, eliminating healing, but also eliminating the digestive processes. So emotional, physical, and chemical. Everything throws that microbiome and the body out of balance. And this will disrupt every system of the body. And the body will signal this lack of ease or dis-ease through various symptoms. So it's really your body's response to the environmental stimulus. Now, obviously, eat the healthiest diet possible. And this includes the anti-inflammatory foods like green vegetables. Why? They have the antioxidants that help heal that tissue. Nuts, seeds, olive oil, and berries, fantastic. And then keep your body moving as much as you can. But again, there's a balance. Avoid overexerting yourself, and because that stresses the system. And just when you're looking at exercise, there's high disease rates at sedentary lifestyles and high disease rates at extreme exercise. So that moderation. Then get plenty of sleep. This is vital because this is when the body regenerates. And be conscious of this. Create a time for relaxing, listening to music, listening to uplifting videos. I mean, Jim Rohn said self-motivation is best done like bathing daily. And meditate daily to clear your mind from anxiety. This is why prayer and meditation is it's a vital part of health. And then cytokine storms, you got to calm the storm. Now, when an immune system is in an overreacting or cytokine storm, this is when the body detects an antigen and it activates an alarm system with alarm proteins such as galactin-3. Now, GAL3 and other alarm proteins help the body recognize and neutralize invaders. However, sometimes it can go into an overdrive, causing an excessive inflammatory response. Now, this overreaction is known as a cytokine storm, which causes overwhelming inflammation throughout the body. Now, cytokine storms can lead to severe health consequences, including respiratory failure, kidney damage, and septic shock. And we're seeing a huge amount of these cytokine storms, or histamine intolerance, you can call it, because we're priming our bodies to respond with any environmental stimulus with inflammation. This is why we're seeing so many inflammatory diseases, inflammatory bowels, asthma, inflammatory lungs, inflammatory brains, such as autism, Alzheimer's. You're looking at a lot of different areas have these cytokine storms. And then it all goes back to where your body produces your fatty acids, amino acids, and usable sugars. So let's calm that storm. Now, modified cytokine pectin at MCP, that's easier to say, is the only proven blocker of GAL3 and prevents it from being overexposed. Now, the other benefits of MCP neutralizes and eliminates toxins and other harmful substances that can distract or overload your immune system. It helps activate immune system cells to take on specific threats. It actively protects key organs, including the heart, the liver, the kidneys, helps regulate the immune system. I mean, amazing. Now, modified citric pectin, it's interesting because the intestines can't absorb pectin in its natural form, which makes it an excellent source of fiber. Fruits that are rich in pectin, again, look at the skins, berries, peaches, apricots, and most citrus. Now, when pectin becomes processed to become the modified citrus pectin, the molecules become smaller, so they're more easily absorbed into the bloodstream. Now, MCP, you can get it at most health food stores. It comes in powdered form. Some pharmacies may have it as well. If you can't get it there, get it in the food sources. Now, adaptogenic mushrooms, amazing. Okay. Now, adaptogen means that they adapt to immediate circumstances to survive. So it's going to have a beneficial effect on your body in different ways. It's adapting to what circumstances you're going through. Now, these qualities help regulate the immune system and its inflammatory responses. Remember, inflammation is a healing process. They also offer antiviral, antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, and antioxidant protection. Now, medicinal mushrooms are all over the place, such as reishi, cordyceps, coriolis, umbellitus, maitake, shiitake, tremella, and a lot of different ones. Now, immune regulating herbs, fantastic. Again, let food be your medicine. And I love this, closing the cell doors. When you look at ACE2 receptors, now they're on the surface of your cells and they act as keyholes that can open doorways into the cells. Now, some infectious microbes have the keys for these doors and they can break into the cell wall, which results in an infection. Now, some antiviral herbs can lock down the ACE2 receptors. These include a Chinese skullcap root, licorice, which is amazing, and that gives a lot of energy as well. Horse chestnuts and Japanese knotweed root. Now, each of these contain hundreds of plant compounds, so they have multiple positive effects. I always say it's nature's pharmacy. It's so hard to reproduce. Like when you look at the studies on tomatoes, they tried to isolate one enzyme that has anti-tumor properties, but there's over 10,000 bioactive enzymes in a tomato. Now, yeah, Mother Nature has done way more work at this than our scientists. Now, examples of immune regulating herbs, astrologus, Eutherococcus, ashwagandha, I take that every day, Artemisia, hanocoili, turmeric, ginger, star anise. Look, let food be your medicine. Add this stuff to your daily intake. And then raw milk. I live in California most of the time, and this is available in California. And it's not available in every state or around the country or around the world. Now, raw milk comes from grass-fed cows that are unpasteurized, unhomogenized. Which means it contains all of the natural enzymes, the fatty acids, the vitamins, the minerals. Now, there's been a lot of controversy against raw milk because of unwarranted claims by the FDA and the CDC. They're trying to support the giant industrial agriculture, which does not raise healthy animals and does not produce a healthy product. Now, most of the claims from the government organizations, raw milk has been labeled dangerous and can't be easily purchased in most states. Now, many studies have shown raw milk to be incredibly beneficial for all sorts of health problems, and especially allergies. Now, many scientists and doctors now are advocating for lifting the ban on raw milk. One group, Campaign for Raw Milk, or for Real Milk. Now, Weston A. Price Foundation invests money in research, studies, and effects on raw milk in the body. I encourage you to do more research with that Weston A. Price Foundation. Just brilliant. Now, according to a medical researcher with this foundation, Dr. Ted Beals, quote, "You are 35,000 times more likely to get sick from other foods than you are from raw milk." And this seems absolutely contradictory to the claims of the CDC or FDA. Yeah, those guys aren't really batting 1,000 lately. Now, Dr. Chris Kessler did a thorough investigation to get The true impact of raw milk, illness, death, as the CDC makes it sound inevitable, and found that your chances of becoming hospitalized from a bacterial illness caused by raw milk is 3 times less likely than your chance of dying in a plane crash. And the fact is that raw milk what are the benefits? Raw milk can address a large number of nutritional deficiencies that millions of people struggle with. Now, look at the benefits of raw milk, okay? It reduces development and incidences of allergies because it's loaded with the bacteria and loaded with healthy nutrients that you can assimilate. Helps improve skin health, prevents nutritional deficiencies, fights H. pylori infections, can be used to make probiotic foods such as your own cheese, kefir, yogurt. It doesn't contain added sugar, doesn't contain synthetic ingredients. It strengthens and regulates the immune system, supports neurologic development and functions. And look at Butterbur, okay? And this is interesting. It's a type of shrub typically found in Europe, some parts of Asia, North America. But it has white, pink, green flowers, large leaves. But it was once used to wrap sticks of butter, hence the name Butterbur. Now, today, extracts from this, stems, leaves, and roots, are common in over-the-counter products, typically in the form of soft gel caps. Now, many studies have confirmed the extraordinary benefits from this amazing little plant. I mean, it's beautiful. It looks good, but the benefits, look at the benefits of this. You can treat seasonal allergies because if you have those allergies while your gut is healing, several studies show that it's just as effective as common allergy medications without the negative side effects like drowsiness, fatigue. Relieves migraines, decreases the severity and frequency, reduces asthma symptoms, decreases the severity of symptoms or duration of asthma attacks, protects the brain, has a protective effect on the brain from neurotoxins and prevents degenerative disorders, promotes heart health, improves cholesterol concentrations, reduces body weight, decreases inflammation by preventing the accumulation of inflammatory cells in the body and prevents chronic disease. Now, I don't want you to use Butterbur as a see-all or be-all or end-all. You know, let food be your medicine. Just put it in your diet to recover from some of these responses to the environment, these allergy responses. Peppermint oil. And this is something, again, we use in our home medical kit. Inhaling diffused peppermint oil can immediately unclog sinuses and relieve scratchy throats. It acts as an expectorant and provides allergy relief, as well as relief for colds, coughs, sinuses, asthma, bronchitis. It has the power to dislodge that phlegm that reduces inflammation, which is the leading cause of allergic reactions. And it's been shown has a relaxant, exhibits antispasmodic activity, inhibiting the contractions that cause you to cough. And it's so simple. And again, very, very simple, basic stuff. Basil oil. And this, again, you can add basil leaf to almost anything you're taking. We use basil leaf in hot water, and that's a tea. Now, it can be taken internally by adding a drop to your soup, salad dressing, other dish, reduces inflammatory responses of allergens, supports adrenal glands, improves blood flow, reduces pain and fatigue. And studies show that basil oil has, again, antimicrobial properties which can kill bacteria, yeast, and mold that specifically target the respiratory system. Now, eucalyptus oil contains citronella, which has an analgesic and anti-inflammatory effects. It works as an expectorant, helping cleanse the body of toxins and harmful microorganisms that are acting as allergens. It opens up lungs and sinuses, improves circulation, reducing allergy symptoms. I mean, I was hiking once with a friend, and she had her 10-year-old son with us that had a severe allergic reaction and had trouble breathing. Luckily, there was a eucalyptus tree there. I grabbed it, crushed up the leaves, and had him breathe in through, and it was almost an instant relief. We're talking within 20, 30 seconds, the kid started to breathe a little bit better. It just fantastic. Then look at lemon oil. It can be taken internally, mixing 1 to 2 drops, which helps balance the pH. It can be used in a diffuser at home, which smells great. But again, it cleans the air of bacteria and allergens, supports the lymphatic drainage, detoxifies the body, boosts the immune system, stimulates the liver to flush out toxins, stimulates blood cell production, is vital for immune system function. I mean, just adding this stuff to your world, it's incredible. Tea tree oil has been used for thousands of years, can destroy airborne pathogens that cause allergens. It's been used as an antiseptic agent, can be applied to the skin to kill bacteria and microorganisms. A few drops of tea tree oil on nails can actually kill mold and funguses. Study shows that it has a wide range of bacterial, yeast, and fungus that it can kill it, which leads to inflammation. It's when you look at this whole thing, an allergy isn't a disease. It's an abnormal recognition of a foreign protein. It means that these foreign proteins have got into your system, and your system should be enclosed. So whatever avenue, whether it's the gut or medical procedures, what do you need to regenerate your body? Number one, you've got to have that balanced autonomic nervous system. If you're in a fight or flight state, you have decreased blood supply to the gut. Look at your system has regeneration or protection. If you're in protection, you're not regenerating. So get your nervous system checked. Regular exercise. This means moderate exercise. You move every joint every day, both aerobic and resistance every day. Proper nutrition. And again, this means if man makes it, you don't eat it. We're going to go back to normal, healthy food that your great-great-grandparents would recognize. I know, way pre-1994. Sufficient rest. This is when your body regenerates. This is when that tissue regeneration occurs. And then prayer and meditation. Have that daily. So daily, you can change your system from that fight or flight state so you can get into that parasympathetic, get into that rest, digest, and repair. Now, we're going to get to as many questions as we possibly can. Post them down below this video, and we're going to be picking the best. And we do have to gather the questions and put them in what can get by and what will be that we have to answer privately on our Dr. BBIP site. But God bless you. Find the solution. Don't just suffer with allergies and go with a chemical solution to suppress your symptoms. Let's fix the problem. God bless you all.